Okay, a lot of people have been asking me about how to make the rolled roses that I make quite often. Let's see if I can find one. I've got one right here. This is a satin one. There's another satin one right here. You can use just about any fabric. I'm going to show you with cotton because that's what I have on hand here. What you want to do is you want to have a clip, just a regular, like an alligator clip, flat clip, whatever, double prong. Your glue gun you want to have nearby, and then you want a strip of fabric that's about 1.5 to 2 inches wide, and how long is going to determine how big of a rose that you want. So I don't like mine looking like they're all basically rolled up and just twisted into a circle looking like a cinnamon donut. So I do mine kind of like a fold over technique. So what you want to do is you want to take your fabric and fold it right into the middle so that it's in the middle there, and then fold this over as well. What the clip is for is to basically hold that in place, and you'll move it along. You can see me do that. You'll move it along as you're folding, so you can see right there how that looks right now. So the first thing you're going to do is create the center of the rose. Alright, so here I've got the folded part towards me, and what I do is I take my glue gun, and I'm just going to put a little bead of glue right along here like that, and then I'm going to fold it over towards myself here. Now obviously this is kind of like in reverse since you're watching me do it from my end and I don't have anybody here to record me from behind. So anyway, so here you've got, looks like that towards you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make the center of the rose. So you just fold it in and you're going to roll real tight because you want to create that center. Okay, just like that. Little dab of glue right in the middle there. One last roll over like that. Okay, so now you've got your center of your rose right there. The next step is basically what I do is, again, I've got I've got the clip right on there like that, and this folded, and I kind of just, as I work, I just take this clip and I just slide it down like that and just continue on. Okay, so here's the center of the rose. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit here like this so that this is kind of like sitting like this now. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the bottom of the rose with my middle finger and more or less with my forefinger there, and then with my thumb on top. And then what you do is you're going to kind of just fold over, and you're going to kind of literally kind of squish down just a little bit as you do this. Okay, you don't want to roll too many times because then you'll end up with a real tight mess, which just looks kind of funny. So here's basically one round, and then I just basically turn that like that and put a little bit of glue, and again, so, and here my little clip is hanging onto my fabric here. Try to keep it close so you can see what it is that I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, so continue on. These are actually really easy to make. They're not very difficult. It's just a matter of getting your groove on, you know, how it is that you like the rose to look, and how tight, how loose, whether you want that real tight cinnamon roll looking thing or if you actually want it to look like a rose. Like I said, I like to fold mine over. I don't like that kind of rolled up and tightened up so tight that it looks, you know, it just doesn't look very realistic to me. So again, kind of go around the rose, and then I'm going to fold again, and still holding with my thumb and whatnot on the top and my fingers on the bottom. And here's my clip, so I'm going to kind of slide that down, and then I'm going to fold it again, And don't worry about little pieces that, you know, pop through. That kind of adds character. You can trim some of it off. Time to put a little dab of glue. I dab glue probably about every 1 to 1.5 turns around the whole circumference of the rose. That just makes me comfortable. It doesn't fall apart that way. So here we go. You can see it's starting to take form now. And continue to fold. So we're still folding. See, it's kind of like a half fold. It's not a complete fold, but it's a half fold. And again, a little dab of glue. You really just need just a little teeny bit. Hopefully you have, I've got this AdTech High Temp Project Pro. It has a finer tip to it. I pretty much use it for everything. I don't have, well, I do have a full-size gun, but I only use that if I'm making a bow board or something. I don't ever use it when I'm making any kind of my flowers. Sorry about that. I can't speak this morning. It's too early still. Okay, so I just lost my little clip here, but we'll just put it right back on again. Okay, and we're going to continue. There we go. Dab of glue. It's probably not my best video. Actually, this is my first video, so I'm sure I can probably end up making a better one after. Again, like I said, you can use any kind of fabric that you want. You can do this with satin, you can do it with silk. I make silk do peony roses. I do satin roses. These cotton ones are fun for spring, summer, more of a vintage kind of a shabby chic kind of a look. And again, just kind of fold it over, and you can play with it a little bit to see, like I said, where it is that you like your folds to be and how you want your rose to look. And I'm seeing that I don't like the way this is starting to undo itself here, so I just kind of go back and fold my fabric again. Sometimes halfway through it starts to unravel. I try to put the clip down, about 6 inches away from, 6 to 8 inches away from my rose. That's the back of it right now. There's the top. So again, back to folding. So essentially you hold the rose. I hold mine in my left hand. I'm right-handed. I was left-handed. The nuns beat that out of me. So we're gonna, again, let me get this back to the center here. Okay, so we're gonna fold. And I kind of press up a little bit in the middle of that flower, as that rose, as I'm twisting and folding over, just so that it doesn't end up with like a sunken look, because it can. Glue a little bit. Okay, back to folding over. This gets kind of repetitive because it just really is. It's just, you know, it's just over and over again. I'm going to slide this down a little bit. Okay, a little dab of glue. And you're not really doing this very tight either, just so you know. It looks like I might be, but I'm not. I'm actually holding it very loosely. So you know, you don't, unless you want that real tight look. I don't care for how it looks. That's just my own personal preference. But some people do. I just think it ends up looking just like you took some fabric and just basically twisted it real tight and then kind of like turned it into a cinnamon roll or a snail or whatever. So again, it's starting to get its little shape here. I'm starting to see how it's turning out like a rose. Okay, fold and press up a little bit like that, and see, you just kind of shape it as you go. Okay, then I'm going to move my clip down again. And I only make them this big really if I'm making like a single rose for a hair clip. My daughter keeps stealing them. She likes them. So lately I haven't had any to sell because Maddie seems to think that they're all great in her color. If you're not one, you can either buy fabric by the yard and then just, you know, cut strips out of it. Sometimes those jelly rolls are on sale. They call them jelly rolls at both Joann's and at Walmart, if you have a Walmart near you that has a fabric section, sells fabric. And you can get those, if you can get them at Joann's and get them with your 40 or 50% off coupon. It usually runs about $5 or $6, and you can make a pretty decent amount of roses out of that. The strips in those, I believe, are, I want to say about 3 feet long, maybe. I don't know exactly. I don't have them right in front of me right now. I probably should have before I made the video. So again, okay, fold, fold, little dab of glue on the side. It's always on the side closer to the bottom because you don't want that glue to be showing up at the top. Fold. And towards the end is where you start to really see it come together. And like I said, you don't have to go very tight. It looks like I'm going tight, but it's because I've got a grip on the flower. There we go. And again, fold. Towards the end, I actually I don't go all the way around. I start actually putting a little dab of glue with about every fold, only because it's a lot, you know, the diameter is a lot larger at that point. So I kind of just put a little tiny dot, and that just helps to hold it in place while I get ready to do the next fold. Now I almost used an entire jelly roll strip here for this particular rose. I'm probably about ready to cut it off though, because I think this is about as big as I like to go personally. This would be a single clip, as you can see, hand size. That's about as large as I like to go. So at the very end, what I do is I make my last little dab of glue here. I'll show you how I finish mine off. Okay, so here's your rose, quote unquote. And what I do is, right where the clip is, I go ahead and just cut right there. Okay, I make my last fold. I just literally flip it over. Little dab of glue here. I decided to pop up on me there. There we go. Little dab of glue. Back side of the flower. I go ahead and take some glue and just kind of squish some on here like that. And I'm going to take this, kind of open it up a little bit. And basically be careful, don't burn yourself, because I do all the time. I just pat it down. And then that way it's kind of tacked down underneath. Get that out of the way. And there's your rose. Actually, it looks like a rose, at least I think so. And if you need to, you can go through, I know with my satin, I just take a lighter and I burn those little strings off. You can leave them on there. That's more of that kind of a shabby kind of a look. I'm a little obsessive compulsive, so I don't really like strings hanging off of anything. It drives me a little bit crazy, so that's just my personal opinion. So I tend to go over it and try to just get those little strings off. There you go. There's your rose. All set, done, finished. Thank you for watching my video, and I will post more videos, and if you have any requests, just go ahead and let me know, and I'll see if I can get it done for you. Hope you have a great day. Bye.